Hey guys, my name is Jet, and welcome to my very first Magic the Gathering deck tech video. In today's video, we're going to be building around one of my personal favorite commanders, the Gitrog monster from Shadows over Innistrad. The Gitrog monster is a 5-cost, 6/6 frog horror creature with Death Touch and the following abilities. The first of Gitrog's 3 abilities is, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice the Gitrog monster unless you sacrifice a land. The second one is, you may play an additional land on each of your turns, and its third ability is, whenever one or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, draw a card. The last line of text is the one we primarily want to focus on for the combo in this deck. For this combo, we will need 3 things: the Gitrog monster itself, Dakmor Salvage, and a discard outlet. The combo works like this. With Dakmor in hand, you can discard it to trigger Gitrog's draw card ability. Instead of drawing the card, you may dredge 2 and return Dakmor to your hand. There are many different discard effects you could pair with this depending on how you want to play. Scourge Familiar is one that you can discard a card to add a swamp to your mana pool, which can allow for infinite mana. Pair this with Exsanguinate, and you can take out all of your opponents while you gain a hefty amount of life. Another card that I like to pair with this is Volrath's Dungeon, which will force one or all of your opponents to discard their hands, leaving them with drawing from top deck and you being ahead of them on resources. If you decide to use this combo, eventually you will get to a point of exhausting your library. To deal with this, you can use cards like Ulamog or Kozilek to shuffle your graveyard into your library whenever they enter the graveyard. A similar card you could use for this on a budget could be Gaia's Blessing. Okay, so next let's talk about the options that we have in this deck to make sure that you get the cards that you need. To draw Dakmor, one of the options is to find it using Sylvan Scrying, which says, search your library for a land, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. Since it doesn't say basic land and just says land card, we can find Dakmor Salvage with it. Another card you could use is Unmarked Grave. So, with Unmarked Grave, Dakmor Salvage will enter the graveyard, Gitrog will see that it enters the graveyard, and then return it to your hand for the dredge cost. Lastly, you can use any other powerful tutor effects, but since I play using a budget, I decided to use Diabolic Tutor instead. So some other cards to consider including in the deck are cards which sacrifice lands for useful effects. One of them is Zurin's Orb, which can gain you extra life in a pinch. Another one's Sylvan Safekeeper, which allows you to sack a land to protect your combo pieces. And another one is Constant Miss, which has a buyback cost that could help you prevent damage for multiple turns. The last thing we want to think about for this deck is the mana base. So for this deck, we want to include lands that can be sacrificed for useful effects, and then get the added bonus of drawing a card off of Gitrog. So first, there are fetch cards like Fabled Passage, Evolving Wilds, or the fetch lands. Next, there are utility lands like Strip Mine and Command Beacon that can be useful in situations, as well as the channel lands like Takenuma and Boseiju. Some cards like Crucible of Worlds and Ramanap Excavator can be helpful with using these effects again and again. That'll be it for today's deck tech video. If you enjoyed it, found it useful, please consider liking and subscribing so you can keep up to date when a new video is released. Have a good day.